Well, I've known Peter for probably 10 years, maybe 12 years. He was a lead driver for another company that I used over here that he worked for a long time. And Peter was always one of the drivers that was the lead driver. The other company had an unfortunate, tragic change in its situation, and Peter decided he was going to pick up the business and run with it. So I've known Peter for 12 years. What makes him different? I think he has the attention to detail that the previous company had. He brought a lot of the learnings from a guy that I considered a really good friend of mine. He brought a lot of the learnings from him to his new company and his operation and how he does stuff in the touring industry. Everything's detail oriented. It's funny because it's rock and roll, but it's all on a very tight schedule. It's a very planned out, it's very orchestrated. We don't fly by the seat of our pants. Peter's team is very accommodating. They're very flexible, willing to change, willing to adjust. I think that's what makes them stand out in my mind, is that flexibility. We're always changing. We're always changing. Whether we change a flight, whether we change where we're going, whether we change how we're going, it happens. It's live. It's an industry that is involved with live movements. And Peter's team always was able to roll with those changes, adjust to those changes, and provide us with the service that we needed. No matter what we threw at him, he was able to make those changes and make things happen. I mean, the great part is, when you travel the world, you're putting your kind of your life into other people's hands nonstop, right? Whether it be on an airplane, whether it be in a hotel, whether it be in a car that you're traveling. It's nice with Peter and his team that we had the consistency of the same drivers, the same personnel throughout our entire tour. So we got to know his team, and his team got to know us. And that makes life a lot easier for our group out on the road. Gave us confidence on what we're doing, gave us confidence that the drivers knew where they were going, they were safe drivers. All of that was handled by the fact that we were able to bring Peter and his team onto the scene for our tour. It's so funny because Europe involves so many different countries, so many different cultures, so many different currencies, better now than it used to be, but so many different things. And to be able to bring the drivers, because we had two teams of drivers and we leapfrogged them everywhere we went. So we'd get out of 4 cars here and we get into 4 cars here, and it's like things never changed, wherever we went. I was talking with another tour manager last week, and he says, "What are you doing over there?" And I said, "I've got 2 teams of drivers and we're leapfrogging." And he goes, "I wish we could do that." He goes, our guys are making me use locals. And he goes, it's so painful, and the pain's kind of gone, with this. I can pick up the phone, I can text Peter, if he answers my text. No, just joking, he always answers text eventually, but I can get a hold of him, I can get a hold of Bernie, I can get a hold of Alex, Lars, there's a whole group of guys that I have all their numbers in my phone, and if I couldn't get one, I could get another. And getting any of them was just like getting the first one. They were all very together. The other aspect of it too is Peter worked well, and this is funny, and this is a little plug on the side, but it's something that's really important, is his billing was really easy. I've done tours before where the billing for this type of work is a nightmare to keep track of. Absolutely horrible. And if you don't have somebody who's really good with the detail and really good at the billing, it turns into a mess at the end of the tour. I can tell you right now, we're walking out of here today with Peter and I being balanced and being in agreement on all the costs for doing this. And we came in under budget. Peter put together a budget for me back in January of this year, and we're walking out at the end of July under budget, covering everything that we needed to cover. So his billing models were perfect. Didn't have any issues at all with it. How's Peter? Peter's a funny guy. Yeah, he's always been great. I mean, he's you know what you're getting when you get Peter. He's very stable, very down to earth. If he doesn't understand something, he'll ask you, which is important with the language barriers that we face. You know, I don't speak German. His English is better than my German, I'll tell you that. So, you know, but he's always willing to come and ask and see make sure it's clear. He's a funny guy. He's got that German sense of humor. Once I figure that out, I'll be all set. Safe, professional, and courteous. 3 words I use to describe Peter Schäfer Global Touring.